everybody, welcome back to Sticky Floor Friday, the internet movie show that just found out they announced a release date for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that's right, they announced a release date for a sequel to a movie that hasn't even been released yet. What? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Is this just a ploy to convince us to go see the first movie by saying, like, we're so confident in The Amazing Spider-Man, we're announcing the second one in 2014, so go see the first one because it's really good. It is so infuriating. I need to talk about something different. How about a different franchise? In fact, let's talk about one that is beyond dead, the Planet of the Apes. Now, this series started way back in 1968 and ran pretty consistently with some sequels through 1974, including a short-lived TV series. And then it was long-dormant, and everybody was like, that's fine, we're okay with that. That is, until 2001, when Tim Burton showed up and killed it even deader with an awful, really bad remake. But here we are, a decade later, and we've got another Planet of the Apes movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And I don't know how much more clear we can make it. People don't like apes. Yes, people love monkeys, but monkeys are different than apes. I did a lot of research. Do you know the difference between monkeys and apes? Scientifically, and now this is science, remember, monkeys are cute and apes are dickheads. Like, apes are to monkeys what the cast of Jersey Shore is to humans. People just don't like them. So right off the bat, this movie has the deck stacked against it. It's a stagnant franchise, it's a reboot, it's a prequel, and it's got dickhead apes that no one likes. So you can imagine my surprise when I went to see Rise of the Planet of the Apes and found out it's pretty damn good. Now, the story of ROTBOTA is that a scientist is racing to find the cure for Alzheimer's because his dad has it. Through his testing, he inadvertently discovers a side effect to his drug, excelled intelligence. His drug doesn't just repair the brain, it actually improves it. But before Franco can get approval for human testing, his test ape goes crazy in front of the board members, and of course his plan is shut down. But then Franco discovers the test ape actually had a baby, and the intelligence was passed down. Now this development triggers a series of events that leads to the rise of the Planet of the Apes. And the thing is that the story of Caesar, the baby ape, goes on a journey that is shockingly believable. It's given plenty of time to develop, and it has some real emotional depth to it. They don't simply rush into an explanation of how he gets higher intelligence and is able to lead an army of apes. It's a plausible set of circumstances that actually makes you feel like this could actually happen. And that's important because the apes are really what carry this movie. It's telling that in the end credits, the actors who play the apes get top billing, because the human characters in this film are about as thin as an anorexic on a diet. You've got Draco Malfoy, who plays a jerkface, because I think that's all he can do is play a jerkface. He literally has lines like, stupid monkey, and they give him Charlton Heston's signature damn dirty ape line, and it just feels wrong. Usually when they try and do these callbacks in prequels or sequels, it feels desperate, but this one in particular felt out of place because A, this movie's too good to even need that, and B, it happens right before one of the coolest reveals in the film, and it almost ruins it. It didn't need to be in there. Now we've also got John Lithgow, who plays a walking plot point. He's James Franco's dad, has Alzheimer's, and plays piano. The end. Then we've got Frida Pinto, who is probably one of the most insulting female characters in all of cinema. Here's her character arc. She stitches up a wound, then goes on a picnic. Then we've got Brian Cox, who does a lot of locking and unlocking of doors. Which brings us to James Franco, who is the human center of this film. Sure, the character's underwritten, but there are plenty of opportunities for him to bring something to the table. His dad has Alzheimer's, he's racing to cure him, he's performing illegal tests, he's housing an illegal ape, he's developed a father-son relationship with this ape, and yet he can't even be bothered to raise his voice or get fired up about anything. And if he doesn't care, why should we? Everyone is outacted by Andy Serkis and some CG, but the truth is that Caesar gets a really strong story. He's rebelling against his repressors, and he really just wants to be free, and anybody can sympathize with that. The fascinating thing is that you do find yourself rooting for him and hoping he'll succeed, even at the cost of human dominance. That is a very neat trick to pull off. Now, I should mention this isn't all about just like an intelligent ape longing to be free. There is some awesome ape-on-man action. Ew. There's apes battling humans. It's great. You will see gorillas throwing parking meters. You'll see orangutans flinging sewer covers. You'll see apes beating men to death and electrocuting them. And it's all done in CG. And the CG ranges from spotty to spectacular, but it's really all necessary to tell this story. This really good story. Yes, surprisingly, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a good movie. Alright, time for 3 questions. Number 1, do you have any interest in Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Have you ever had any interest in the Planet of the Apes? Number 2, what are your thoughts on the Superman and Catwoman costumes? And number 3, why is Draco Malfoy always such a dick? Is it because of his awkward relationship with Voldemort?
Well done.